organizing a large number of troops, armored vehicles, and tanks to the Gaza border. On the 7th day of the war between Israel and Hamas, Egypt broke its silence as Hamas and Hezbollah continued to carry out their attacks on Israel. The Israeli army hit 750 targets belonging to Hamas and Hezbollah in a single night. This air operation carried out by Israeli warplanes in a single night led to Egypt and Jordan taking action against Israel. While the number of Muslim countries forming a union against Israel continues to increase, the Jordanian people have started forcibly entering Israel's borders. The Egyptian people, on the other hand, have been demanding for days that the army take action against Israel. According to information obtained from Egyptian sources, Egyptian government officials have decided to send the Egyptian army to the Gaza Strip, not leaving this request of the people unanswered. With Egypt taking action, the decision taken by Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant is about to change all the balances in the war. Israel Defense Forces officials, while continuing attacks on target areas in Gaza, Syria, and Lebanon, the unrest in Egypt and Jordan has become an indication that the violence of the war will increase even more. The fact that the Egyptian people are so angry with Israel is based on a historical tension. October 6, 1973, there has been a tension between Israel and Egypt that has been going on for years because of the war that Egypt and Syria launched against Israel. This war was called Yom Kippur because the war started on the time of Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the Jews, and this war was called Yom Kippur. The Cairo and Damascus administrations have launched a war against Israel to reclaim the Golan Heights and the Sinai Peninsula. Soon after, all the Arab countries took part in this war against Israel in support of Egypt and Syria. As a result of the war, the Arab countries suffered a great defeat. The country that suffered the most losses in the war was Egypt. Egypt, left alone on the front line thanks to Israel's strategy, has lost more than 5,000 soldiers, close to 2,200 tanks, and more than 350 warplanes. Although 50 years have passed since this war, the Arab people have still not forgotten the effects of this war. For this reason, the Egyptian and Jordanian people want action to be taken against Israel in the current war between Israel and Palestine. Deccan Israeli pilots launched an air campaign at night to blow up underground tunnels belonging to Hamas and Hezbollah, military headquarters, residences of Hamas operatives used as command centers, weapons storage depots, communication rooms, etc. As a result of this air operation launched late at night, a large number of Hamas and Hezbollah members lost their lives. On the morning of this operation launched by Israel, a major uprising began in Muslim countries such as Egypt and Jordan. The Jordanian people are trying to forcibly enter Israel's borders by arming themselves. In the same way, Egyptian citizens are organizing marches in the streets, demanding that the Egyptian army be sent to Palestine to fight against Israel. In line with these events that started in Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, and Iran, the claims that the Muslim Union has started to be established have become a topic of the agenda all over the world. When the Arab countries are directly supporting Palestine, who will take part on the side of Israel? These riots, which have been going on in Egypt for days, were being carried out in order to open the Rafah Gate and support the Egyptian army to Palestine. According to information obtained from regional sources, a large number of armed people from Iraq are trying to enter Israeli territory through the Egyptian borders. In the same way, Egyptian citizens continue to forcibly enter the Israeli border territory by arming themselves. After these tensions in Egypt, the Egyptian government has started to organize the shipment of soldiers, armored vehicles, and tanks to the Rafah Gate with the latest decision it has taken. At first, the Egyptian people thought that these military shipments were sent to Gaza for support purposes. However, the decision taken by the Cairo administration soon disappointed the Egyptian people. Earlier, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said in a statement that Gazans must be determined and stay on their land. Now, A senior Egyptian security official said in a statement that they have decided to increase security measures in the region in order not to violate Egypt's borders with Gaza. The Egyptian government, which has sent thousands of troops to the Gaza border, is trying to prevent Palestinian citizens from entering Egypt. The Egyptian authorities, who stated that they are constantly in communication with the U.S. and European governments in order to stop the war, stated that they have taken such a measure to create safe zones within the Gaza borders and deliver aid through the Rafah border crossing. Thus, the Cairo administration also turned its back on Palestine. However, the Egyptian people do not have the same thoughts as the government. This decision taken by President Sisi has made Egyptian citizens even more angry. Although there has been tension between Egypt and Israel for years, this decision taken by Egyptian President Sisi surprised everyone. Do you think this decision made by Egypt, a Muslim country that has previously fought with Israel on many fronts, is correct? While the Egyptian people continued their actions on the streets to react to this decision, Egyptian bureaucrats hinted that they were trying to reach an agreement with Israel for the creation of a peace corridor. But Israel did not welcome this agreement. According to the allegations, the regions located in the peace corridor requested by Egypt are very strategic points for Israel. For this reason, the Israeli government does not look warmly at this peace corridor agreement. In addition, the attacks organized by Israel against the Rafah Gate have started to scare the Egyptian government quite a lot. For this reason, Egypt, which does not want to confront Israel, seems to have taken such a decision in order to prevent the attacks on the Rafah Gate. In the same way, similar events continue to take place in Jordan. Jordanians and Palestinians began to march towards the Israeli borders to forcibly enter the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The citizens of Jordan want to take back the Holy Land. At the urging of Hamas, major uprisings took place in Arab countries. Calling on Jordanian citizens, the Hamas leadership called on the Jordanian people to march to the Israeli border. According to the allegations, thousands of Muslims mobilized from Iraq and some Arab countries armed themselves and began to travel to Israel. The situation is not much different in Iraq. Thousands of Iraqis began to gather in Tahrir Square in Baghdad to participate in the protests and show their support for Palestine. Iraqis carrying the Palestinian flag held marches, shouting slogans in an attempt to condemn the Israeli attacks. In line with these events, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has taken a new decision to increase security measures at the border. The Israeli Defense Ministry appealed to the civilian population living within the borders of Gaza and asked them to evacuate Gaza to ensure their own safety and protection.
Ready to bring your brand into the real world? Shopify is ready for that too. With a retail point-of-sale solution that lets you sell in stores or markets,